Most parents have experienced the why kid, the one who, when you tell them to do something or explain something to them, they always ask, with an innocent expression on their face, why? Usually, after the third why, the exasperated parent responds, because I said so. And the why kid wanders off to ponder another mystery of life. Hi, I'm Paul Glover, the No BS Post Pandemic Leadership Coach. And I want to talk to you about the benefits of having the why kids in the post pandemic work environment. The industrial age managerial mindset, like the frustrated parent, did not have the patience or inclination to tolerate the why kid, and definitely didn't want to hear anything from the why girl. Managers made sure everyone who worked for them knew their opinion was not necessary or welcome. They had the attitude, if I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. As long as a company didn't want initiative and innovation from its workforce, this command and control approach to leadership worked well enough to keep the company in business most of the time. However, this industrial age assembly line command and control mentality was seriously eroded by the pandemic. Now, in the post pandemic work environment, employers are becoming aware that they need their workforce to be drivers of creativity, innovation, and new ideas. And since the majority of the 2024 workforce will be comprised of Millennials and Generation Z, those employees who, because of the pandemic, realize they don't have to work according to the industrial age's rigid rules, believe they should be included in the decision-making process about how and where work gets done. Because of this desire to be part of the decision-making process, the post-pandemic workforce has become the why guys and why girls, continually asking, why are we doing things this way? Pre-pandemic managers ignored the question of the why guys and why girls and continued with business as usual, refusing to even engage in a discussion about changing the rules of work, and they got away with it. But post-pandemic, that attitude encourages quiet quitting, 50% of the workforce, and actively disengaged employees, who are 18% of the workforce, and causes the company's talent to seek more enlightened organizations. Rather than continue with this destructive mindset, companies need to proactively jumpstart the dialogue with the workforce about the post-pandemic work environment using these steps. One, acknowledge immediately there is a need to have a dialogue with the workforce about changing expectations and the rules of work. Two, invite employee participation into the decision-making process by holding focus groups and anonymous surveys to obtain the workforce perspective about the organization and the changes in the work environment and the rules of work required to meet the needs of the workforce going forward. Three, conduct stay interviews to collect feedback from top to performers to better retain them by finding out what they like most and least about their jobs, what keeps them at the company, and what would cause them to consider other opportunities. Conduct exit interviews, asking departing employees about working conditions, their manager, compensation, benefits, co-workers, and growth opportunities. Finding out the reasons employees are leaving, especially the company's talent, is essential to making the changes necessary so other talented employees don't leave. 5, team leaders are on the front lines and are privy to both formal and informal employee feedback. They hear feedback during one-on-ones, in team meetings, and in casual conversations in the work environment. Because of their proximity to the workforce on a daily basis, they will know what drives employee satisfaction, retention, engagement, and productivity on their teams, and what hinders it. If they don't know this, perhaps they should not be the team leader. 6, utilize as many of these tools as possible to ensure employee feedback is comprehensive. Then share this information with the employees. Create an action plan to implement as many changes as possible to the work environment and the rules of work based on the employee feedback. Employee feedback will boost retention, but only if it is used to build a work environment that better meets the needs of the employees who work in it. Only 30% of employees who are asked to give their feedback about the work environment have their feedback acted upon. Employees whose employers act on the feedback they receive are 4 times likely to stay with the company than employees who don't think their feedback changes anything. Finally, follow up with pulse surveys. Just because there's a commitment to change doesn't mean the change actually is occurring. Managers tasked with implementing the agreed upon changes to the rules of work may resist doing so because they're invested in the status quo. Employee pulse surveys, weekly with 1 or 2 questions or monthly with several questions, track progress to ensure the agreed upon changes are being implemented. Employees who have a dialogue with the why boys and the why girls about what the post pandemic work environment should look like, and then implement the agreed upon changes necessary to meet the needs of the employees while continuing to meet the needs of the business, are the organizations that will thrive in the chaotic post pandemic marketplace. Thank you for watching. I'm Paul Glover, and if you're interested in any more information about the why and the how to increase employee engagement and retention, contact me at paul@paulglovercoaching.com.